go. Hello everyone. We are back in, as you see, No Man's Sky for some No Man's Sky building. Let's have a look. Ooh, drop a message in there. So, this is not Friday, because it's not Friday. That's me getting messages. So, the question is, what have we been up to? I did a little bit of work getting stuff sorted out. We haven't done the bit, and I will show you the lighting piece again that I'm going to do there, because I need to seal the corridor. Hello there, Star, how you doing? Wandering the world somewhere. Partying. It's disgraceful, it's partying. That's, you know. But I will start with this piece here. We've got the spinal point fitted, because I needed to, there was an untidy bit where a couple of pieces left. So I filled this piece in here, and I also, I'll go to camera for this. Tired, haven't slept in Wales though. Well, there you go. Did the whale mind you being in it? That is the question. Thank you very much. Yes, the build takes time, but it's getting there. I have filled in that piece, tidied up that piece, and of course I've done that on the other side. I've still got a lot of the wiring points to remove. Always cautious about removing the wiring points in case you then have to go back and do something else. So we did, obviously I've got that done, which that's better to see when it's dark. Got to do that on the other side. Did I have the, hang on, let's go back into camera. Yeah, so I've still got to fill in the very underside across there. That's where the power distribution is, that circle that you can see. Hello there, Atlas, how are you doing there? Having a good time? Welcome to my spaceship build, which I am going to get onto doing some actually building in a moment. Been practicing with this. I'll talk about the very front section in a bit, because there's been a bit of a giggle with that not quite working the way as expected, and I've got that set up ready to demonstrate, because obviously this side wasn't raised in the same way, but I've got to match it into the way that it's done. So I've got that all set up, so we'll cover that in a moment. So we will go back to the rear section for those who like to use lighting panels, because it doesn't show you until you go into build mode. This is the level. This corridor here just needs filling in, because obviously we've got the engineering room, which needs a bit more decorating. I should really go to that, and then I'm not blanking out pieces. And this is obviously a double height. This is just going to be a straight corridor. This is where all of the points for the lights and stuff go. Good to hear it, Atlas. Good to hear it. Weather treating you well. We've had some quite a bit of rain actually, considering it's meant to be summer. Not been coming to plan. I've been on a deserted moon here. It's actually been better weather here, even compared to what it's been like outside. So what we do need to do is we need our cuboid flooring that has the thing. And like I say, by putting in these wires, you draw the one across. You don't need to do it for each point, because then you just have to click, click, and click. And as soon as you've put the flooring in, like that, I mean, nice and simple. I mean, if I just drop down in here a sec, there you go. You can see nicely well lit. Then we can remove the side wires, carefully making sure we are targeting the side wires. Then we can lift a floor and then just stick the floors down. Gotta admit, that's a nice easy way to do stuff. You walk in and there you go. There's that nice and tidy corridor. And I've just realised I don't have a door on this side for some reason. Actually, do I actually need that door on the other side? Because... no, because you've got doors through to the docking, engine room. I don't need. Throwback Thursday. Yeah, the... oh, hang on a minute. I saw a wire going down there that... oh, I'm going to have to reposition that wire, aren't I? Okay, hang on. That's annoying. Right, so that goes through to there. That's going to go into the wall. Right, I'm going to have to go skip around the outside. Talking of throwbacks, I am in the process of clearing some space. So I am then able to... so that's the wire there that's causing the problem. There we go. Actually, no, I don't want to do that one yet. I want to go back up. I am clearing off some space so I can add a couple of new games, including the Silent Hill 2 remake, because that is something I've got on standby. Yes, here we go. So it's down this side, flick around. Yeah, so basically what I need to do is put it there, and then, hang on a minute, there we go. And now, when I go back here, just drop it into build mode again, it's not there, and because of the positioning of that wall, it's not there. Yay! But yeah, so I've got a couple of games there. I know I've been asked for Death Stranding as well. Yeah, yeah, that, making sure you've got the right wire is, yeah. It's not just wiring electrics where that becomes an issue. If you accidentally take out one of your build, I mean, if I... now that I'm in build mode, you can see the build wires, oops, that go around the side. All of these mean that I can go back and sort out the angles if anything was to be deleted by mistake. So these will all get deleted, but it's just a case of, at the minute, I mean, I could probably safely remove most of them because I'm not going to need them very soon. And for even this bit here, which we're going to look at next, those wires aren't actually in use for that. So, but if I'm in position here, so what I need to do is demonstrate what I'm doing. So if I put that there, why is that in a slightly different position? That's interesting. That's... oh no, it's just because of the offset. For half a second there, I thought I was completely in the wrong position. Right. So, as you can see, we've got our various bits. This one here, this is what keys it in. I had it set at an angle last time. You can't have it at an angle, it'll twist. So it has to be perfectly flat and 90 degrees to what you're wanting to do, even though this angle here isn't 90 degrees. But it's not a problem. Not a problem at all. So, we can grab that wall, grab that, take it to that. Then we can take that out, put the wall back in, and we drag that up to there. Looks nice and straightforward so far. Then we copy that one, and there we go. Now obviously that's too big, so we can literally just do that, put another one down. We want the side pieces. Get everything lined up. I always keep forgetting which way I should be twisting these round. There we go. And then, there you go. That's those two done. Yeah, repetition of doing these things helps, and if you spend time, I should have left one of those in place. Trying to remember what it is that you're doing can be great fun when you forget, because it's been like you've had time away or something. You have to wait until spring of 2026 in order to purchase it. Well, I know there's been a few people a little disappointed with the fact that one person has had theirs fail mechanically within 7 days. Someone had a power cut issue which caused an undervolt, and that meant that Nintendo considered it as a hack, and so it was turned into a brick within about 3 weeks of getting it. I mean, obviously, if you're using equipment that you shouldn't be, you can imagine that. Yeah, it's a problem. But other than that, you think to yourself, well, really, yeah. Something as bad as having like a brownout can cause problems with your Switch, considering that it's been hacked, and then rather than just bricking the console as well, which is a bit of an ass to do considering how much they cost. Oh shit! I'm on the edge of the bubble, aren't I? There you go. I bounced off the edge of the thing, build camera view, so I couldn't pull back. That was a bit weird. Right, and then we pull it up. This is probably the easiest way to get a nice clean 90-degree twist on something. Oop, there you go. And I mean, obviously I'm using the reskinned. That did not go where it was meant to go. There you go. The retextured, because these are actually, I'm just wondering, there might be people who don't realize how you get this texture on those parts, which we will cover in a moment. I mean, obviously the quickest way is what I've done. I'm taking a part that's already been textured the way that I wanted. But yeah, I mean, the easiest thing to do is you go into here, and any one of these, the cube, the pipes, not that one though, the pyramid, the blocks, and that, you can pick any one of these, large wedge for example. You can see it's just white, and go in, tell it, yeah, white, but I want it to look rusted. Instantly it's got the right texture. You come out of there, and then before you do anything, this only works with the legacy parts, you can colour the other pieces. But I go into there, and now it's that colour. But if I was to go into here, and I go, oh, I want, oh, hang on, I'll come out of the build camera, because that zeroes it. If you come out of the build camera, it will zero it. I'll come over as well, so I'm a little bit more in. But now if I pick that up, that's the base colour, and that's when it's marked as white. Green. But you notice there's no weathering. Absolutely no weathering at all on them. And that is, now if I go back into here, use a small wedge, I tell it I want, say I want it green, rusted, then I go back into here, and there we go. I normally just use the Nintendo Switch console the right way so I don't get myself... Yeah, well, this is it. There are people who have used it 100% legitimately. But unfortunately, because of things like this voltage underrun, they deliberately put something in to make it so if you don't supply the right voltage to it, then it can think you're trying to hack it by tricking it into doing something. And I mean, in theory, they could use part of the firmware to actually monitor what is happening. So if it does just detect the fact that the power coming in has varied for whatever reason, they would know people aren't trying to hack the crap out of it. But there's already people putting custom stuff, because there have been people who have managed to crack it to a degree, which to me is quite a surprise how quickly that's happened. I mean, you do expect it to be out a while before it's done. But the fact that even with the voltage issue, and there was a couple of other things, including someone who had jarred the thing, or there had been damage on their Joy-Con, and apparently when they plugged the Joy-Con back in and tried to use it, the system again thought somebody had tried to hack the Joy-Con and mess around with it, and again, they'd been basically locked out of their account. And there's no comeback. It's a case of if they dictate that you have tried to do something naughty with it, that's it. You're screwed. Even when you are being 100% legit, which, like I say, I totally disagree with. You know, if people are doing things the legit way, and this is from someone who used to write codes using the Game Shark system. That is leaning backwards. That is not going to do what I wanted to do. Yeah, Action Replay, Game Shark, whatever you want to call it. Yeah. But those were for single player games. But always a bit of a laugh. Right. Let's get this. We're on the final part of this circle. The more parts you've got, the harder it is for some of these snap points to do. Come on. Yeah, there it is. I have to say, there was a point a couple of years ago where, I don't know what it was, but on PlayStation it was a nightmare trying to get snap points. Triangles were some of the worst for trying to get stuff done, and you might not even have like that many parts, and yet you would find that you had 0 snap points showing. It was like you were trying to play in free placement all the time. Which, as you can imagine, not good. Just grab a drink. Oh, so yeah, the once I haven't sealed off the underside of this. I showed it last time round. I've got a neat circle there, and I've got the other 5 storage containers over there, because I've only got those 5 there so far. We're going to have a partial ring. We're going to put in a bridge of some sort, which I might raise again. I don't know. I mean, I could always make do a full raised dome in the middle, and see how it goes. But if you've got ideas of what you think I should have a go at, you can always drop me a suggestion. Helps if I remember I've got to bring that one up from there instead of just trying to place it. Oops, that way. Oh, wait. Right, there we go. Get rid of these lines. That didn't sound good because that registered I deleted something. That was weird. That did register I deleted something. Oh, it might have just been the wires. I might have been actually spot on for the wires. Thing is, wires tend to cascade out if you're not careful, and then you have to put all the wires back in again. So, right, we can get rid of that and that. And now, so if I come out of there, put some sunlight over there, and we can pull back. And there we go. That's that piece done. So that is now the full circle. Like I say, we've got the hole there. I could just fill it in with pieces of panel, but I do think this piece here could potentially be the bridge nicely. Just have to work out what I'm going to stick in this section. I'd probably have it slightly recessed down, maybe like 1 short wall down, 3 short walls up, curved sides. Make use of the this piece here, which again at the minute, if I load one in, isn't what you would call exactly colourful or anything, but we could use that at an angle. I mean, again, I could if I go back in, oops, highlight, pyramid, colour, And then we select that, and then I've got one here that I can literally just yeah, you see, it is a ridiculously short drop in the voltage. I mean, we're not talking about someone trying to give it 50% of its voltage, which, I mean, short of a repair shop trying to very carefully test stuff, but they tend to use maybe 1 to 5% of power, inject a low amount of voltage just to check stuff when they're looking for something that might have blown, broken, overheat. But when you plug it into the wall, I mean, a brownout might only drop it by 10 to 20%. Some, usually no more than about 10, but some things will switch off. No pun intended on that, obviously. But yes, so that is a big problem, unfortunately, for some. Right, now I've done those side pieces. I need to replace. So let's see, that's the wall. I need to put these there. There, I don't need to go in between because most of this is just not going to show up, sort of thing. Right, now I need to grab number 4. And then I'm going to try to line this up with the floor a little bit. I also need to push it in there so that piece there doesn't show. I did put an angle on that, didn't I? Yes, I did curve the angle. Oops, a bit. Right, so we go grab number 3. Oh, I should have picked it up straight. I didn't pick it up straight. Right. Right. Bring that in there. Turn it a bit. An overlap's a good thing because it means that they automatically start to power up off one wire, because anyone who's used them knows that they actually have to be powered, hence why I'm not getting any reading on them at the minute, and they're saying, oh, you can't use it. I mean, some people are smart asses and they manage to clip these resized pieces in, but I am just doing the simple and dirty method of resizing. I mean, see, that's how the size they look normally, but I don't want it to look like that. Oh, hang on. I'll do. Then we'll go get the last one. Number 0. Right, here we go. Oh, we just, oops. Just a little bit of movement. There we go. Oh, now we've got the fun of doing the wire up, but that's quite easy. That is quite easy. Because if we slide down here, oh, I left the wooden panels in. Oh, they need to come out. Right, this is the one that goes up for the thing. So if I click on that, I can put a thing just here, like so. Then I can click on that, and then if I come around the back, I can literally just go, oh, click. And you can see all of these now light up blue. So when we move around the front, they're all lit. And they're all usable. And I've just realized that for some reason they're a different size. That makes no sense. Oh, that makes no sense at all. Hello there, Mia. How are you doing? Having a fun morning, I hope. Yes, I'm going to have to redo those ones, because those ones are, I mean, they're a slightly different colour, that's not an issue, but those are just about the right height for the thing. These ones are actually quite a lot shorter. So something, and oh, I didn't put the wall in yet either. But yeah, something didn't quite, let me just, oh, that's two pieces. That's two pieces I used, okay. So if I put you there, does that mean I can get you, how do I link you in? That's interesting. Hang on, I think I remember this one. If I put you there, then I can put you there, and then I can take you out. There we go. So now that I've got that in, and it matches up, it's even more noticeable that that is now not the right size. Not a worry. Not a worry. We can come in and sort that out. Of course, now I have to work out where the wire was for sorting out those containers. Right, I have this. This is probably the random wire, which I can just copy. I'm going to string it across there, like so. Now, if I take this one first, and can I get it to do what I want it to do? No, because I've tried to duplicate it instead of, I'm going to move it. There you go, I've moved it. That is definitely the wrong size, right. That is not what I wanted to do. Right, we're going to delete it. We're going to go into, there you go, 0. I'm going to make it, is it that colour? No, I think it's that colour. Then we copy the wire. That did not work, because I just deleted the wire, because I'm a silly person. Okay. Well, that might not have been the wire, but it might have been the wire. And if it was the wire, I need to sort of redo that one. Right. Let's redo the wire. There we go. Now I can go back in and grab you, make you the right colour, and we do that, do that. Let's see how far out my wiring is. Do. Not that far out. I'm probably going to have to redo those then. And of course you notice that when you go to do the stretch by wire, you get the funny textures. But, funny enough, if you click on it, move it, and stick it back down, there you go. It loses it. It does appear to have lost the colour as well. That's probably what went wrong with those other ones. Never mind. But like I say, if you've got an idea for how you think the dome should look, drop me a note. Let me know. So, I've just thought as well, I'm going to have fun trying to balance out that bloody dome as well, aren't I? Because as soon as you try to copy, That's weird. That won't snap onto the... Oh, there we go. That's sinking deeper, isn't it? That's sinking deeper. That looked like that was sinking deeper than the other one. That did indeed sink deeper than the other one. Right. So I need to raise the thing out for that one. What I do need to do is make a quick save. And remember, the sprint is on the right-hand button, not the left-hand button. Because there's going to be like a... No, it's the Switch 2 that's got the issue, not the Switch 1. The Switch 1 seems a pretty robust machine. You can do things with the Switch 1 that you can even use like that multi-save cartridge thing, where if you own cartridges, you can copy them on so you get like a paged device. So you carry one cartridge instead of, say, 6. You can use that. You can do all sorts of stuff, and if you do have problems with voltage, it's not an issue. It's just the Switch 2 that seems to have a problem. So, don't know why, other than the fact that they've been more stringent with what they're doing. Right. One thing we need to do is the sides. So this upper piece here, we're going to have more like a conference room section, which I'll have to work out exactly how we're going to get into that. The sides are literally... They are not lined up. Why are they not lined up? That was weird. Oh, that's why. Hang on a minute, but that should still have put it onto that, shouldn't it? Hang on, there we go. Right, so if that goes there, then... and that goes there, that does line up. That is going to give us a slight black line through the outer body, which we don't want to do even though it's a seam. It's not going to be a seam, is it? It's going to be there. Could pull it further in. Yeah. Might have to pull that further in. Probably put it about halfway. Also have to work out how we're going to come up to this level. Right, the one thing I need to do is get rid of that, because I'd have no idea why that was sat there. We still need to fill in this. I did some work in this corridor. So we've got the display. I'm probably going to change that out, actually. Especially as that there was too big and in the way. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, it was actually blocking the floor section, cutting through here. Let's have a look. Because I did do some tidy up. I did some very strange triangular work. I also just managed to duplicate a part. That's just going to get filled in, probably flat. Doesn't need this to look too fancy. And take that off. That's the spine bit. This needs tidying up before I get too much done with the thing. But yes, we'll have to move this to the center. So I can literally just... like so. Just to confirm that's not going to interfere. Okay, so the OCD is going to kick in. It needs to be a fraction further back. Triangles. We're gonna use some triangles. It's a great way to shunt stuff just a fraction. Come on. There we go. Let's have a look. You see, that now, it's still not perfect, is it? It's not quite there. I mean, I was thinking of putting it in this piece here, but it's still not quite there. So, what we could do, let's go back to triangles again. And we'll do another quick there we go. So now it's in the bit here. It's not showing through the panel, and on the inside it matches up stonkingly nice. There we go. So we can get rid of the half walls. Yeah, a lot of people are annoyed that it wasn't an OLED from start. I mean, people who remember the Vita, when that launched, it had an OLED screen, and then Sony downgraded it within 18 months. And you think that was a real shit move to do. And that is one of the things that stops people from buying it, because it was OLED and then they made it not OLED. So they tried to say that it didn't make that much fucking difference, but it did. It made a huge difference to the color rendering and everything. I know there was a couple of games came out where they actually tried to amend various aspects of the color difference, but it was just too much. It literally was too much. So excuse me. Right. 1, 2, 3. This time we'll just do this in one, because we know that we need it to be the 2 spaces over. Like so. Then we use 2 of these, which shunts it back to there. And that puts us, just make sure that is in the right place before it, gotta get your snap points lined up. That is not in the right place, is it? Let's remove that. There we go. Then we copy that and stick that right underneath there. There we go. And then drop down. There we go. So, and you can see that that's moved it half of a short square, which is exactly where we need it to be for those pieces. So it gives us our conference room, or you know, whatever you would like it to be. So I can remove that. It's a bit like pulling out of a space dock when you start removing certain pieces. I'll remove the lights out of the way because we're not really going to need those much. Oh, anyone who's trying to work out why there's a Nomad parked up here, considering how far down you have to go, I had considered in using the base of a Nomad to fill in the space at the bottom of the saucer section, just to find out that if anybody did accidentally decide to call in the Nomad on seeing the prompt, you would then actually be trapped under the floor and not able to get out. That's exactly it, Atlas. You see, a lot of people had said with the Vita, if it had come out even with a normal screen, and then 18 months in had been released with an OLED screen as a refresh to say, come on, people, buy this thing, I think it would have had more support. But Sony were just not bothered. They weren't bothered of the thing. It's like whoever was in charge of that department didn't give a damn. And you think, well, cheers, Not the best way to do business, but... Right. Stairs. Right. Stairs. What's the best way to do this? Go to the front and take you up into the space? Yeah, probably. So I'm going to need at least a half a thing, or do I do a single one? Do I do a single one? I could try let's try a single one. We're going to try a single one, and see how well that pans out. So we need that, and we need that. Then we're going to pop that short wall there. Then we're going to accidentally drop one under the floor, because that's always fucking fun. And then we're going to manage to screw up that. That's called bad finger timing. Right. Copy. Save. Big one. Place. There we go. Then we can go back to the stairs. I know it sometimes doesn't like going in with a floor under it. Come on. Now let's try it from this side. It momentarily clicked in there. There we go. So if I take that away, that gives us a more centralized part. I'll get rid of this because we don't need it just at the moment, although I will be putting in more lighting. I will pop the save beacon just there. I can pop you against the wall over there. Base computer. Is over there. And then we've got this signal booster, which I'm again just going to shove to the side of the room for a moment. And then I'm going to hit the head on here, of course, because why not? That's just fun. That's what you do. Put you there and stick one on the other side so don't accidentally go over. So I need to get rid of that. I do think I've got some of the coloration slightly out, because that's dark and that's brown. Right, so some of those are going to have to be redone, but that's not a problem. We're not here to correct the mistakes just yet. We're just going to sort that out. So now we've got that. This floor space can be used for putting in anything that we really want to. And the upstairs is going to be hitting things on the head's fun. Yeah. I hit my head on something actually yesterday, but you know what it's like when you're in the middle of doing something and you drop something and it's like, oh shit, where did that go? And instead of thinking about what's going on around you, it's like, oh, there it is. You bend over to pick something up, and as you stand up, you forget about the fact you just left a door or something open, and you're like, pow! And you're like, cheers. My problem was it was a glass door as well, so obviously my head isn't as hard as glass, otherwise that would have been a problem. Right, we also need to fill this hole. I am going to put something to cover the bit of flare coming out the top. Gene Roddenberry would not be happy with what I'm going to stick on top. That's about as far as my clue goes on that. Right, let's go back into... No, that's not what I wanted to do. I didn't want to back all the way out. Right, let's... If I take that one... There we go. So yes, that's that. So I could stick that there. That there. And then we just need to put you there. Take out that one. Put that there. There we go. And that leaves us with that sealed in. Yeah, we do have these couple of little knobbly bits sticking out due to something I was doing. So I decided, rather than faff stuff around and try to move stuff until a certain distance, I would actually just add something to it to make it look like a wall-like feature or something. Talking of which, let's get distracted by distracting, because that's what we do. Right, lights. I need... Now I've got to try to remember where the piece is, because it was one of the... Is it in this one near the bottom? Yes, it is. There you go. Pillar lights. From the space station. There you go. You can make them black, grey, bronzy. Actually, it looks like it's the secondary colour, which is the one that's important. Right. That gives it a slight blue look. That makes it a more white look. Okay, let's stick one of them down. Then stick one in with the pale blue. And then if I stick one in with another of the white but a base colour of something different. Let's have a look. I need to get rid of that out of the way. Alright, so it does colour the band that's there. So that's got a slight bluish. Those ones are coloured white. The top banding does have a slight change to it. Right, let's have a look what the... And then whichever one looks best is the one I'm going to then... I don't know why I pressed circle. That was a mistake. I was going to press that button. That makes it all green. That one is the black, grey and black, which I might make use of. I was hoping to have possibly... You see, there's no black and white on the colour scheme on here. Unless... If I go to wood... I don't know if this works. It kinda did. Okie doke. So that makes it like a beige and blue. Okay, let's. What else? What other things? What other colour schemes are there? Green and silver. That's not a bad one. That could work. I've now got like a porcupine lighting array going on. Yeah, other than your standard colorations you can do, the coloration technique, which is how you make the external metal panels that the thing's skinned in, the way that they are. I think in a way the reason Hello Games never like added it is because since they worked out people were just using it, it was a case of, well, people are already doing it, so we don't actually have to add it to the game because they're already using it. So the only real difference would be if we had a choice of some extra colours, or if we could choose what the primary and secondary colour was, because that would be interesting, because it means if you wanted something all one colour, or you wanted to make complete contrasts, then you'd get a whole selection of stuff. The fact that these particular space station parts can be coloured is very cool, because to me there's a lot of parts you can't change. I mean, for example, yeah, these, for example, I mean, there you've got an orange container. I go in, I can select any colour I want on there. I can make it bright red, or let's make it black. I can turn that there, go there, I then stick that one on there, and it's no different. You know. What's that? Power saver mode, in which was... Yes. Yes, I mean, a lot of us have been after a proper equivalent of a PSP3. And I mean, even if they made it so you had to hook it up to your PS5, so you could put your games, unless you bought a game separately, you had, if you owned a game already, you could just like put it onto your PSP3. Fine, you know. I do think it's a bit of a mess having to do things through certain things, and anything that adds latency into the gameplay is just ridiculous. So hopefully we will get ourselves a really good console. I mean, the fact that they linked it in with the PS2, PS3, and the big test for that, for anyone who can remember, was the Pocket Station, which is the first ever handheld console that Sony made. It linked in, it worked with the PSP1, and it ran sub-games, sort of thing, as well as being a memory card. Worked on the PS2 quite well, and even when you plugged it into a PSP3 using the USB adapter, the PS3 recognized it for what it was. So it was supported all the way through to the PlayStation 3. It was an extremely limited piece of kit, admittedly, but I'd still like to get my hands on one, even though there's not much you can do with them. Right, back to lights. So, we've got the black with the grey, and we've got this one here, which has got the tan and blue. So the first thing we need to do is sort out our wire, which I'm going to string between two of these, just for the sheer hell of the fact that I'm going to string them between two objects. Right, lantern, the good old favourite of the lantern. You just go into wire, drag it across, take it off snap, because that's really annoying, go back into there, resize, because it is a resizable part, and let's take it down to there. There you go. Now, let's see, let's take this one, copy, then it's the old triangle square, and we move to the wire and we copy, and then we, because it's shaped, should I go there and do it this way? Oh, it's not perfectly in place, but yeah, if I do this one in the same manner, although I should be able to copy now I've got one in the right size, and then eyeball it to how I want it, like so. Move, and I'm going to rotate it because I want to have it as just about symmetrical. There we go. Although that does seem to have changed colour. That's annoying. That has most definitely changed colour. Right, okay, we need to do a little experiment. Yeah, I've got because I've got premium as well, one of my favourite games was the Resistance Retribution. Because when you had a PS3, you could plug in the wire or connect it while you were playing Resistance Fall the Man, and you could basically infect the PSP with the virus from the video game, and it meant that your character would then regenerate from, so as long as he didn't lose too many bits, if you took damage in a section, he could get that piece back because of the regeneration of the virus in the game, which is how obviously you play, and especially in the first one. But unfortunately, playing the game even on PSP, if you don't have a PS3 with the game, then you can't get that infection boost, which is a bit of a shame. I mean, I have I think I've only got about 60 or 70 games for the PSP. But if I ever see any in a shop, I will buy some. Although I probably will have to get myself another PSP. And that's the other thing that gets me. Sony could actually make money by relaunching the consoles, because they could make them for less money. And it would give them a bit more income. It's like they could do a PS3 that has PS1 and PS2 backwards compatibility, and they could do it for only a couple of £100, and they'd make money. They'd make quite a bit of money, maybe even 250. They'd still make money on it, which is nice. Right, so I've got my lights. I just need to solve the colour problem. Let's try the green one. I think that might not have worked properly. That did not work properly. Right, electric wire, delete. I definitely didn't quite get that right. I also just managed to hit a button that I shouldn't have hit. Duplicate. There we go. Yep, for some reason it changes the colour. Is that closer to default? No, wrong button. That definitely didn't quite, because I think it's more orangey if I'm not mistaken. Let's have a quick look. Yeah, it is. It's more orangey, so why would resizing it restrict it to that colour? Can I, you see, this has got like, Now that's interesting. That's showing me that colour. The problem with recoloring stuff is the fact that unless you place that part down... Right, so if I pick it back up and then put it back down... No, it's remembered the colour. Right, so this will work. So we can get rid of those two. And we can duplicate that one. Like so. And then we can rotate. Like that. There we go. We've got the right colour. So it's... Yeah, I'm... The problem with cloud streaming is that not every country has very good internet. And over here, you've got to pay an absolute fortune for fast internet. But fast internet doesn't mean low latency internet. So trying to do certain things, remote play, let alone through a portal, here, it's horrible. And some games are worse than others for it. I mean, if we had the service we were technically paying for, it would help. Right, I now see... Does anyone need any lights? Because I appear to have... I have a lot of lights. Yeah, that's a lot of lights. In fact, using the big, tall, upright lights, I should have been using these instead, because they do cast off a decent amount of light. Right, so that's made use of that. That's the back side of the room. What I will do is, if I stretch this along, I can give myself the room I need. Come on, latch onto the side. There we go. Come on. It just has to... There it is. So we can now remove these. And that allows us to access the floor while still leaving us with the ability to not have to reposition everything. And it gives us a good look at the conference room. Right, I also don't need this wire anymore, which was hidden inside the thing. And I can get rid of that and that. So we've got, let's see, 2 doors, 4 doors, that doors, that doors. Decent amount of space. Right. If I'm going to stick in... What I do need to do is just make another save. Right. So we only need like the single bit, because that will take us up to a nice wall that's going to come in. That is halfway. And that... Should I put a doorway in, or should I just make it like an open access point? And I've just realized that is not lined up in the right place. There we go. Is that... No, I've still got it in the wrong place. Wow. Snap points. Snap points are us. There we go. Yeah, that's better. Sorted. So, what I do need to do before I go too much further is sort out the side pieces, leaving the center open. So, yeah, playing games natively is definitely... It's quicker, more responsive, you know, you get a push. I mean, I still use my PSP just because of what it can do, you know, because it is that good. Right, we need a garage door. This is where the fun comes in now. Because as long as you're drawing 90 degrees from the thing, then as long as you don't mess up your button presses, you can put the entire framework in for, I don't need to do that one just yet. Come on. Oop, no, that's it. And again, mess my buttons up. Would that one come in from there? I think it probably would. Except that's going to twist. That will twist. So what we'll do is pop those in. We'll remove the garage door. Then we need to bring in new garage doors. Just for those, I'm going to do one at a time because I've just realised just how bad that's going to be. Right, and then we can like so. Now I can get rid of that. We'll just move that one to there. Make sure that is snapped to the garage door and not something else. Because we don't want it to look a bit weird. Right. Then we can literally just get rid of that and that. I'm not quite sure how well these will fit. Because we're going to get an overlap there. Let's have a look. It's not too bad. Kind of messes with the OCD, doesn't it? That is probably gonna... Yeah, that's gonna mess with my head. I mean, it's fine for these side points. That'll get the lower deck nicely. And I've got to have that open because that's going to slope up with the stairs to where I need. I also need to fill in this gap here. Let's have a look. Can we do it the cheap and dirty way? Will that actually fit where I want it to? Probably not, because it wants to be awkward. Oh, hang on, that one's gone in. I only actually need it to fit. Come on, can you fit there? Can you fit there? Will you fit there? Are you going to fit there? You'll fit there for some reason. There we go. Right. Let's just have a quick check of that before I move on. Yeah, that'll do. I'll probably stick a little light or something in there. Those corner points are still bugging me as well, so I'll sort of have to sort those out. Right, I'm also going to get rid of this so I can actually see what I'm doing. Because we need the part to go up with it and slice, which also means that they would actually fit out, so that's not a problem. Right, what do we have in the way of slopies? Nothing that looks good in the metal parts. That's annoying. I haven't got all the parts on the other ones. Alright, let's go over to here. Do have that. Which I could make it a little darker. Yeah. Would that work? Or is it too... That'll be fine. That'll be fine. Let's have a look. Because it comes in at that level. So that's fine there, because I can just copy what I've done at that far end. Yeah. Bring this wall along. Gives us some dead space, but dead space just means you're not filling it up with lots of parts. And I'll stick a light on there as well. It'll get cut into with the floor and the pieces I'm putting down. Really need to think about something with those lights. Because I'll probably just fill this space in actually. Go back here. Oh, do I actually? Yes, I still have the parts, don't I, actually? So we've got that. Copy. Take that one. Come on. Oh, that's halfway through a step, isn't it? I forgot about that. Hang on a minute, we've got to... Right. Yeah, now it'll fit, so we just need to make sure it's there. Copied. There we go. Put you there. Duck down this wire. Let's actually I can I know that goes to there, but I can actually remove this wire out of the way. Then, do I have a... Yes, I do have a short wall. There we go, short wall. In the wrong colour. That's annoying. Right. Short wall. There we are. Is it that one? Let's just check the colouring. No, that is not the one I'm looking for. How did I get that other colour out of? Oh, that's because I did it through the other technique, didn't it? That was it. Same way as doing the thing. That should give me the grey. No, that's giving me the rusted look because I didn't want the rusted look. Okay. Right, hang on, just stick you there. I wanted the polished look, but I wanted that. Here we go. Let's try that one again. Pipe. Polished, white, back out, There you go. It's got the black top to it now, like the rest. So I can sort those out after. Sort out the stairs. That's going to have to go fully up, so the floor doesn't fall out, because we don't want the floor to fall out. Does get a bit cramped at times for the spacing. So that's going to go over there. Yeah, I'm definitely going to have to redo those lights. How? Pull them across? Yeah, I could pull them across, actually. Right. I'll do it on this side first. So, where would be the best place to put it? Was that the... Yeah, a couple of very valid points. Steam Deck is good, but they're on about the Steam Deck 2. Don't know when that's going to be dropping. And the ROG Ally is going to become the Xbox. They're doing a special Xbox version, which to me, they're still going to make their own ROG Ally handheld, which is going to be like Steam and Windows, but on the other hand, they're going to do an Xbox variant. So I don't know what the differences are going to be, but it'll be interesting to see what they come up with. Right, I need the short wall first so I can get all these parts balanced. Then I need the long one, which can go there. That's not going to be far enough over, is it? Or is it? It might be. And then I need it to go that way by what? Half? By half. So let's go there. There. That would probably push it slightly through the thing, but it might be better than... Yeah, it'd be slightly out of position, and it's not going to be curved to the wall, but that could be better. I could always bring it this way, a fraction with triangles. Right. I'm going to have to remove the wire, which I can easily put back in a moment if I need it. Right. I mean, if I put that there, and then garage door it to there, then remove that, like so, where would the best place be to get that in place? That's too far over. I really should have not put that door that way round, because that's annoying. Right, let's remove that. And let's pull triangles down. I want to go that way, to go that way. Right. That one, that one, that one. Here we go. To there. And we again need the floor. Then we pull that to there. Then we can get the floor piece. Right, let's have a look and see how that looks. So even though it goes into the wall, that's also leaning. So that means I've not got it straight. I've clipped it onto the wrong bit. But it does a better job. Oops. I'm caught in the floor piece out of it. I wondered what was going on there. Yes, that could technically come further back again. Right. So that wire is defunct. Get rid of that wire. We're going to move him further back. So just because we need the space. There we go. We'll get rid of you. Oh, I just got rid of the wall that I didn't want to get rid of. That was clever. So we want to come a little bit further back as well. Come on, there we go. So that can go up there. Then I can also put that back in there. Put that there. Then we can call up the floor, put a new floor panel there. That did not work. Put a new put a new floor panel there, like so. Then we grab that, right, and we drop back out, and there we go. It's touching practically perfectly. We've got like a pixel or two out. But that's going to work. That's going to work. That's how we're going to do it. Then we can put the ceiling on. And then once we've got the ceiling on, it gives us our seal, because that'll just cover up that. That'll cover that straight upstairs. More walls to cover the slopey pieces, which will go there. So that's us on that. So we've done, finished off the side, got this shunted back, got some of the lighting in place on there, and that's going to be about it for today. Still, if you've got an idea for the dome, for the bridge, if you think there's something that would work, drop a note, drop into Discord, pop in, say hi, and all ideas are welcome. So, hang on, I need to get out. I need to break free. Here you go. So there we are. This is me saying, thanks for watching, everyone. I'll catch you all later. Have fun, and I'll see you again soon. And we will probably be doing something different next week on the Thursday. Week after, we'll probably come back, do a bit more, give people time to make a few suggestions, and I'll catch everyone later. Have fun, and bye for now.